Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negro. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the very first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we deal with everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called uncommon sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel, uh, whether it be from the beginning or whether it be just recently. I really appreciate all the love and support that you give me. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, whether it be Facebook, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitter, or whether it be Instagram, TikTok, or what have you. I really appreciate all the love and support that you're giving me. And I want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter in your devices. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I produce content, you will have the opportunity to either catch it live or catch it playback. Okay. Now, before we get into the topic, there are a few things that I'm going to discuss. Let me just let you inform you regarding my upcoming streams. This Thursday at 9 o'clock, I will be conducting a live call-in show in regards to how to keep your life toxic free. So I'm going to give you my observations on what I recommend that you do to keep yourself life as toxic free as possible. Of course, other people might have other suggestions, and they're all welcome here. Now, next Tuesday at 8 o'clock, I'm going to be having a live stream of which I'm going to have Keisha of Wine and FaceTime that's going to co-host it with me. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be debunking the myths regarding Black women. There is a lot of misinformation in regards to the African American women. A lot of them have very poor image of them. Um, of course, we all know that there's good and bad in every community. So what I'm going to be doing with the friend, with the help of my dear union sister Keisha, we're going to try to debunk some of those myths. Okay. There are two other streams which will be scheduled in the near future. One of them had to do with um, debunking the myths regarding Latinas. So there's a lot of misinformation regarding Latinas, who they are and who they're not, and what have you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to another co-host to share her point of view regarding how we can debunk some of these. Another topic which I will be discussing is regarding transgenders. There's been a lot of chatter here on TikTok and on Instagram regarding that, which leads me to my own words. Just give me a moment. Okay. I don't know if any of you follow TikTok or into TikTok. There's been a great deal of chatter in regards to the transgender and things of that nature, and they're talking about how they need to exercise their rights. Okay, let me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share. Okay, something that appeared on my Instagram account if my computer cooperates. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, because unfortunately this is live, so things do happen. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. Um, if anyone, for whatever reason, okay, whatever reason, wishes to have surgery to alter themselves to the extent they want to be from one sex to another sex, that's perfectly fine. Good evening, Donna Mondo. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hopefully, we'll be able to link up when I get to Philly. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can share this because lately I've been having some technical difficulties. Uh, just give me a moment. Unfortunately, this is live, so okay. If I cannot show it, what I'm gonna have to do is play the audio. Okay. Okay. Sometimes it takes a while for the image to appear. Okay. I apologize. I'm at the I'm at the mercy of Wi-Fi. Just give me a moment. If the okay. 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 I don't know what's going on. Okay. Okay.
That we draw the fucking line.
Hello? Hello? Can anyone hear me? Okay, I apologize for the technical difficulty. Can you hear me now? If you can hear me, put a one in the chat. First of all, I see that we have Keisha in the chat. Good evening. And also we also have Donna Mondo. Let me let everybody know that both Donna Mondo and Keisha have their own YouTube channels. So what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to their channels and check out their content. Keisha does a show which is Wine and FaceTime on Saturdays. Sometimes they're live, sometimes they're recorded. So, okay, thank you. Now, let me give you my personal point of view. Now, if you as an individual decide to have surgery to alter yourself to go from one sex to another sex, or you wish to be undefined as far as your sexual preference is concerned, that's perfectly fine with me. I disagree with it, but what gets to be a problem is that when you insist and try to force your views on people like you, like me, like people like Keisha or Donna Mondo or anybody else, okay? You have a right to your opinion. You have a right to your beliefs. That right ends when you try to force yours on other people. Just as I would be just as wrong as I were to try to force others to accept my viewpoint. Okay. And what's even upsetting is that these individuals want to expose small children to their lifestyle. Okay. Now, what's my solution to the whole thing? I think there should be a separate bathroom for them. Okay. And that's now for all the youths who are parents. I'm sure if you have a daughter that's 5 years old, 6 years old, even 10 years old, you wouldn't want some person that trying to pass oneself as a male when he's not to enter the ladies' room. There is a reason why it's called a ladies' room. It is meant for ladies, okay? Women. The men's room is for men, boys, okay? So I'm not trying to be judgmental. I'm just simply expressing my own point of view. You could agree, disagree, or what have you. Okay, but we will have discussion at some point. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link. If anyone wishes to join the panel. Okay. So now, well, that being said, just give me a moment. We're going to get into the main topic. As you can see by the thumbnail, the topic for tonight is what is workplace bullying? Okay. First of all, what we need to do is, excuse me, just give me a moment. What we need to do is define what is bullying. Okay. Now, the definition for is the following: seek to harm, intimidate, or coerce. Okay. I just want to make it perfectly clear that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image. Some of the views people hold may be considered offensive. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. So we're going to bring on, okay.
Hi, good evening. Hello, Jose.
Good evening, Keisha. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. How are you? How was your day?
Okay, fine. First of all, huge shout out to you to all the successes you have on your platform. You have surpassed me.
Thank you so very much. I'm so excited. I found my little lane here in these YouTube streets, as all of you guys said I had to do. So I'm happy I figured it out. And thank you so much. You guys have been so helpful this entire journey.
Well, look, the fact of the matter is we're both small YouTube creators, so therefore we should do what we can to help each other. Now, the topic for tonight is what is workplace bullying? Now, what are your opinion on the subject?
Ooh, workplace bullying. Oh my God, I have so much to say about this. But to keep it short and like not talk over other people, give people a chance to talk. I feel like workplace bullying can be like the whole favoritism group, the in group or the out group. You know, every job has that position where there's a clique or a group of people that go to lunch or they go smoke or they hang out after work. If you're not in that, I feel like that's a kind of bullying thing because sometimes when you're not in that group, you get treated differently. You know, you get more work to do than other people. You get, outcast or ostracized sometimes. And, it's hard to even comment or ask for help in those situations. And of course, there's the supervisor situation, subordinate situation where we have the bossy supervisors that think you can't tell them anything and they know everything right. And, they try to make you do so much and there's never enough you can do and you never get credit for what you do. Sorry. That's another one. There's so many to talk about.
Yeah. Well, as you are probably aware, Kisha, we're both municipal employees. So, therefore, there are certain policies that are in place to try to prevent.
Yes, of course. I've taken all those trainings annually and quarterly as needed. And I know there are a lot of trainings are in place, to get people together in that situation as far as being on board and, not doing certain things. But we all know there's little loopholes and things still happen despite that.
That is true. However, one thing we need to be mindful of, okay, is that in our respective areas, we're here to do our jobs, okay? There might be people that maybe we don't like or we don't care to associate with, but we must maintain a level of professionalism. And sometimes the can be more subtle. What is your point of view?
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely think some people can be more subtle and I don't know, I feel like with the whole workplace job thing with friendships and co-workership and stuff like that, sometimes those relationships get a little bit mushed and blended too well. Like I remember my last boss, we should talk about things that were so personal and so against the rules and was so violation, but it was like the environment at that location was just like that. So it's different when you go and everything like that. But sorry if I got too far off of what you asked me, but that just came to mind when I started talking.
Okay, well, the fact of the matter is, with any large employer, whether it be city agencies or whether it be whether it be large companies, or that hire thousands of employees, many of them have some policies to try to prevent workplace bullying. Okay, the thing is, we have to be mindful that sometimes it's harder for people who are the victims of bullying to come forward and to share with their supervisors and HR what's going on.
That's accurate. That's why I became a union delegate at my last location in the Bronx because I felt like, I could have easily, become a victim to, excuse me, workplace bullying. And I definitely felt like, I'm doing a good job in following the rules. I had a little attendance issue, but besides that, I felt like I was doing everything right. So, excel and, succeed and, get other job opportunities. But I kind of felt like I was starting to fall into that clique of if you don't hang with this person, or if you don't do this, or you don't go smoke at this time outside, or if you don't go to this restaurant for lunch, and if you don't have this person in the group chat, you're not gonna get but so far. Like, you gotta kiss ASS. Like, and I felt like, okay, when I realized I was a part of that group, I'm like, nah, this is definitely not gonna be me. Since they're taking you.
Yeah. Well, I think what we need to do is we need to further define what are some harmful and abusive behaviors that are going along with bullying, which is profane, threatening, or disrespectful language or any form of verbal abuse.
Absolutely. That's a big one. The verbal abuse thing is real. Being, verbal abuse, it can be even nonverbal too. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but it can be like, your body language, your hissing, not even saying anything, but like little, like, um words under the breath, or, eyebrows being raised, or snickers, or looks. It goes more than just verbally saying things too.
Yeah, I mean, there's different types of non-verbal communication. Some of it is positive, and some of it could be negative. Another example, as
Yeah.
far as bullying, is degrading or demeaning remarks that might include insults or name calling.
Yeah, that's another good one too. I feel like Sue, when we in the workplace, when we have workers and colleagues and supervisors of different generational backgrounds, that can happen easily because we all relate to something different unless you're like super hip and relevant with today's trends. So those verbal things can get misconstrued in those areas because, for example, my dad generation to my generation to my kids generation, to their kids.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the fact of the matter is, one thing we have to be mindful of is that when you work for a large organization, you're going to be dealing with individuals of different backgrounds, of different belief systems. Also, these going to be dealing with people with different types of sexual orientation. Now, you don't have to like everybody, but you do try to be sociable and cordial in order to get the work done.
Absolutely, you definitely do. Like I found myself, I used to call it back in my young days, being fake phony, and as you say, being cordial in the workplace. I would call it fake phony back then, just to get through the day, the fake laughs, the fake jokes, whatever it had to do to get to, the end of the day to clock out and get home. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, all right, some people can do it well with a straight face. Some people can't. They got a screw face the entire time. And it's very relevant that they don't want to be a part, be a team player, be open or communicative. And they can't pretend. Some people just have that, as so many people call that shit face or that resting bitch face, where it's like they can't pretend if they tried.
Yeah. Another example of bullying is harsh criticism in the presence of other employees, and sometimes supervisors can be guilty of this. I remember when, the two or other alternate delegates or what have you, whenever I had a disagreement, it's very important to speak with the person in private. If you're going to discipline an employee, and this is something supervisors you need to be mindful, you don't do it in front of others, okay? Because what that does, it can have a devastating effect on the morale on the person that's receiving it, not to mention the other employees.
I totally agree, but of course, not to be the poop stirrer. I've seen so many situations where that did not happen that way, and it escalated into something more than it should have been, and it had a lot to do with sometimes you not being a part of the in crowd, or you being too vocal and advocating for yourself, and you not being a dummy or a follower, or it's happened in those situations. So again, you're seeing the
Yeah. Well, I know as a union rep, there have been times when I have to get into situations when a supervisor and a subordinate disagree and they have issues. So what I try to do, of course, as a responsible union rep, is trying to find out what is the issue with both parties and try to come up with a solution that's mutually agreeable. Another negative type of conduct is comments that have a negative effect on work performance.
Yeah, I feel like everyone should not be a supervisor. You have to be a certain characteristic and person to have that role. And yeah, you can learn to become something. You can be molded into something. But I feel like some people are meant for the job, and some people aren't. And I feel like some people don't know how to give constructive criticism. The same way some teachers just don't know how to connect with a child and help that child be able to learn. And it takes we're all different learners.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Look, I remember, in fact, I have a colleague of mine that for a while has been struggling with work that we were doing. So what I try to do is like I'm trying to like assist the employee to look at it and allow the employee to learn at her pace. Because let's keep it hungry. Everyone learns differently. Okay, some people it takes a while to learn. Some people you have to like explain it clearly. But as long as they are trying, I'm very patient. What to be a problem is that when they don't want to learn. Now, continuing on bad behavior, another one is behavior that diminishes psychological safety, such as withholding vital job-related information, refusing to answer questions, or refusing to assist when requested.
That was a lot. Can you say that again?
Behavior that diminishes psychological safety, such as withholding vital job related information, refusing to answer questions, or refusing to assist when requested.
Yeah, I don't like that kind of stuff. I haven't seen a lot of that, but I know that's realistic in every industry. No matter you work at McDonald's, you're a cashier somewhere, customer service. I know that happens everywhere. And I feel like again, everyone is different. While we're all human, we come from different cultures and backgrounds and races. We're all human and emotional, and it's important how you speak to people, the tone. Again, going back to body language, those things are important, especially with culture and different backgrounds. Certain people take different gestures and facial expressions and, old sayings to mean something totally different. And you have to be clear and patient, understanding, and know the people you're evaluating and talking to, who you work with, to get the best productivity and effectiveness out of them. So again,
Yeah.
it's like bad people management sometimes.
Keisha, some people have a bad conception of what it is to be a supervisor. Okay, when you are a supervisor, basically you're supervising a group of individuals to try to achieve a goal. You're not the president, you're not the manager, you're not the director, you are a supervisor. So basically, you're like a slightly higher version of a subordinate, so to speak, in the sense that the supervisor has other people that they are accountable for.
Yeah, I feel like certain supervisors, they definitely think they own the whole building, the company, the country. They take it too far. And I hate to be around the supervisors. I hate the one that want to micromanage you and be over your shoulder 24/7 like you need assistance all the time.
Okay. Well, you know what? It brings me to the next point about behavior. Literally making unfavorable or unreasonable assignments.
Yeah, that sucks. Most of the rookies get those
Yeah,
unfavorable assignments that are not
yes. Another issue is retaliation against a whistleblower.
us.
And that's
Until
a
we get
serious
our
issue.
seniority, like, I know it's
Yeah,
in my contract.
yeah, correct. And this is something that some supervisors are guilty on, and so managers. Using position or authority to talk down or to demean another.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot when people have mommy daddy issues or personal internal issues and they just express it and use the job place as an outlet for it, which is totally not cool, which is why people become, walking in the jobs with the trench coats with the gun in their pocket because they just want to pop on somebody because somebody took their job too seriously and try to make someone
Yeah,
feel less than or unworthy.
yeah. Another inappropriate behavior, which could be a form of bullying, deliberate exclusion of individuals from meetings or activities they should be attending.
That's interesting. Like, although I'm not working as a union delegate right now in my new job, and I'm still a city employee, I had to deal with that recently. And it's unfortunate. TMI, I'm in a arbitration still, and someone had to be removed from most of the mass conversation and communication because it was told that that person was running back, exploiting and explicit information, and it's still not to be told, but a large group of people think so, and it's like I felt bad for having to do that, but I didn't know what to do in the situation with all this seriousness of, arbitration and court and judges and stuff. So I did what I thought was best so everything doesn't break down and fall apart at this point and where we are together, for this cause. And it's like, wow, just the way you said it is done for bullying purposes, but in this purpose, it was done more because, people were hoping it wouldn't, you know, um, break up or mess up the arbitration, of course, for those people that have claims.
Yeah. Okay, another thing that's an issue. Oh, hey. Okay, looks like we just lost Keisha. Hey, Irby, how you doing? Thank you very much for appearing on the chat. Let me just get my the topic for tonight, Irby, is what is workplace books? Okay, okay, okay. Keisha, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I just got in the house. I was taking off my jacket and I accidentally closed the web browser. I do got to step down for a bit, but I will be back. But I just wanted to let you know that That was an accident. I was taking off my jacket and hit the button by mistake.
Okay, no problem. And I was just mentioning that we're going to be doing a stream next week, debunking the myths regarding Black women, and how, with your assistance, we're going to debunk some of those myths.
Oh yeah, guys, be tuned for that. Jose is gonna let me be a guest speaker because I am a morena, so I'm gonna speak. Yes, I guess I am.
Yeah, because you know what the problem is? If you look at social media today, this is the image that they portray of Black women, that they're they look at love as something as a transaction. Not all of them are that way. Okay. There is good and bad in every community. I always said that. Unfortunately, if you take a look at social media today, that's the concept. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't date Black women because they're holding on to those myths. So it's my attempt to try to debunk them and let the people know, hey, I mean, there's some great Black women. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Listen, I don't care what nobody say. White men love black women. Black men love black women. Spanish men love black women. A lot of them don't take them seriously like down the aisle, but everybody like themselves some black women. But everybody got a right to have a preference too.
Well, I did mention at some point the first girlfriend I dated was Black.
Yep, I remember you told me that too, and I feel like there's nothing wrong with not liking black women as far as your sexual companion or someone you were married. There's nothing wrong with that. There's every taste for everybody, but I definitely am happy to be able to be in a panel to debunk some of that stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, because it's just that unfortunately people are led with what's being said on TikTok and what have you, and not trying to to get to know Black women. Because something, let me tell you, there have been some Black women that are very gifted, very intelligent, and extremely beautiful.
I know many black gifted, beautiful women inside and out. They don't gotta be drop dead gorgeous, but their spirit, their wisdom, their knowledge, their aura, their swag, their fit, their personality just makes them all of that to me. You don't have to be a certain type of, way to be a good black woman, in my opinion. But we're gonna get into that conversation. We do. I don't want to give up all the tea right now because this is not for that conversation.
Okay. Urban mentioned that MLS men also love Black women. That's, I think that's light, mixed light skin.
Okay, okay. Well, shout out to that crew loving us. But yeah, I understand there's certain men that just, they don't want to have children, marry. I get that. I think everybody should do what they want to do, but I feel like, there's a lot of stigmas depending on the generation you were brought up in or what you saw in your house and your environment, which definitely kind of manipulates people without them knowing they were manipulated at birth type of thing. Like, for
Okay.
example, for me,
Well,
I never saw any
yeah.
black aunties or uncles date any Caucasian men or women. I never seen that. So it's like, okay, that ain't something that's in my brain because I never saw it unless I seen it on TV or at a friend of a friend's house. Like I didn't see that in my environment ever. So like that just
Okay.
doesn't register for me. Period. No matter
Yeah.
how cute I may think a white guy may be, that just doesn't register. It doesn't hit me like that.
Okay. Now, getting back, some other bad behaviors is shunning, excluding, marginalizing, or using the silent treatment and using personal attacks and threatening comments.
That's kind of scary. Like that sounds like EO-ish, but I could believe it, because certain times, people get away with things that are just ridiculous, so you can't put it past, like I don't know of it personally, but I believe it for sure.
Yeah. Another bad example is setting someone up for to fail and not providing important assignment related information.
Oh yeah, I can see that, because some people, again, are not really team players or not really like leaders or positive, and they are so fearful that, someone is coming for their job, to take their pension, to take their seniority, to take what they feel they are owed, and they are so afraid of a younger generation of people coming in and replacing them because they are quote unquote the more tech savvy, super beings, so to say, or whatever, that they'll put themselves in those predicaments.
Yeah. Well, as the baby boomer, or as some people call it, I'm like the ancient one over here. Okay. I know my time will come when I'm going to have to pass the baton to the younger generations. So the way I look at it, those of us who are secure in who we are, we shouldn't fear younger generation. What we should do is like share with the younger generation our knowledge, our experience, and hopefully the younger generation will avoid the mistakes that we made.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now, another thing that's a big issue is racial, ethnic, or sexual, gender, or religious slurs.
Yeah, I don't get into the religion conversation. That's too much for me. I feel like people want to slice you or pop you or try to tase you about religion. I don't touch those conversations.
You know what? I tend to be very careful with that subject as well because it can be misinterpreted. But when it comes, but people do unfortunately tend to target those who are different.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't like when people try to push religion at the workplace. Like, I don't care. Like, I really don't like that. And that's something that you see at work environments. They may want to kind of peer pressure you to celebrate with this kind of lunch for this kind of holiday, or come get this kind of snack for this kind of occasion. And sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it's like, all right, if you're someone from a certain background with a different.
Yeah. Well, one thing we have to understand that we're dealing with all sorts of people with various religious viewpoints. Some of them are atheists, some of them question did not the existence of a supreme being. So therefore, we need to be mindful of that. Just like we want them to show proper respect for our religious views or lack of religious views, we need to do the same to them as well.
Yeah, I agree. That's really important, so everyone can feel like, it's an equal opportunity employer, and there's like, fairness, and there's no discrimination across the board with any group. That's very valuable for like that purpose for sure.
Yeah. Another form of inappropriate behavior is circulating private correspondence, emails, messages, and texts without permission.
What you said about the emails and texts again?
Circulating private correspondence, emails, messages, texts without permission.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like, at my new job, I haven't even given people that many people my phone number. I don't want people to get too comfortable with just texting me freely or calling me freely. Like, I already got people following me on social media that I didn't even ask to already, like on YouTube. But, I'm not complaining that I want more subs. But, it's kind of weird like that when you're like the new person, it's like, is it too soon to get someone's number? Is it too soon to follow them? Is it too soon to ask to go on a lunch date? Is it too soon to try to playing things with them outside of work? It's kind of weird like that.
Well, you're not gonna believe this, but at one point one of the alternate delegates asked me for our president's cell number. First of all, there's no way I'm going to give Anthony Wells' cell number to a random stranger. Number one. Number two, as delegates, I mean, we have a certain amount of authority and knowledge of how to deal with whatever situation. I mean, the president of our local should be the last person that we reach out to.
Yeah, that's a fact. Sorry, Jose. I'm actually washing dishes and I just keep muting myself so you don't hear all the banging. So my apologies. My
No,
hands are wet.
it's okay. It's okay.
But I'm
Another
gonna step
example.
down right now and I'll be back, okay?
Okay, fine.
Thank you for having me.
Okay,
Bye bye.
thank you for. So, now another example of bullying is called rude, nonverbal behavior, such as an anal gestures, eye rolling, snickering, finger pointing, and staring. Okay. Now, like I said before, okay, we don't have to like everybody that's in the workplace. Okay, our job is to be cordial for the time that we're there. Okay, okay, with different all types of people, for 7, 8, or 9 hours, or whatever length of time that you are working. So what the thing is, you're everybody, but the thing is, try to get along and try to be sociable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link again. Should anyone wishes to join the panel. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm going to continue with some things that happen when it comes to bullying, which is taking credit for the work of another. That could be very demoralizing if you are someone that you're working on an assignment and you devote a great deal of time and energy regarding it, and then only to have someone to take the credit for the work that you did. That could be very demoralizing. Okay. Another example, which could be considered bullying, is gossip, mongering, or rumor spreading. If you want to damage the morale of a workplace, spreading rumors is a very effective way. And unfortunately, it does happen in some workplaces. Now, I've been fortunate that I have not had too much experience when it comes to spreading rumors. However, I know there are places where people spread rumors, like someone spreading manure, um, interrupting. Okay. It could be very annoying when you're trying to speak and you're speaking about something and someone cuts in and starts speaking. Okay. The last time I checked, when one person speaks, everyone listens, and then everyone waits until it's their opportunity to speak. Another form of bullying is telling personal jokes about a coworker. That could be very harmful in lots of ways. First of all, we have no idea what's going on in a worker's life. Okay, we don't know whether a worker is going through some personal problems at home, personal problems with their relationship. We don't know if they're going through financial problems. Okay, so when you tell personal jokes and making the butt of your jokes, you don't know what you could set off, and For a person that's going through a lot of emotional trauma, that can create even more trauma. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to discuss some indicators of being bullying. Okay. Feeling ill at the start of the work week. Loved ones request that they stop bullying about work. Favorite activities with friends and family no longer family favorite activities with family and friends no longer appeal to them. Days off are spent exhausted and lifeless. Others in the workplace have told to stop associating with them. Now, some of these issues are can be very serious. Constant agitation and anxiety. Being accused of incompetence despite an excellent history and a transfer request mysteriously being denied. Now, these can indicate that someone is a victim of bullying. Now, there are certain things that we can do to provide a safer work environment. As I stated before, uh, many large employers have policies established by the HR to prevent office bullying. Okay, so what I'm going to do is share some possible ways that we can combat it. Redesigning the work environment. Reducing ambiguity and providing opportunities for increased control and latitudinal decision making can help reduce bullying and manage high stress jobs. All these factors have been correlated with workplace bullying. Number two, identify interpersonal conflicts as one cause of bullying. Developing a system for addressing problem solving in the workplace can lead to a reduction of bullying issues. Leadership and emotional intelligence training can focus on improving self awareness and interpersonal skills. Number three, effective leadership. Leadership style has been identified as an important predictor of workplace bullying. Number four, anti-bullying policies and code of conduct. Anti-bullying policies should contain a clear statement coming from the top of the organization chart regarding intolerance for bullying. In addition, the policy should identify what constitutes workplace bullying and the consequences for such behaviors. Okay. As I stated before, um, any large employer will have these things in effect. Actually, in all the mayoralty agencies and all the city agencies, there are EEO, there's the Office of Equal Opportunity. These offices, were they're set up to prevent office bullying and to resolve any personal conflicts that occur at the employer. Number five, raising awareness in the workplace. By raising awareness, organizations demonstrate a workplace culture that won't tolerate bullying behavior. Other ideas include addressing the workplace culture and values of developing a positive communication change. And there are certain things that we can put into place to try to reduce uh, workplace bullying, such as zero tolerance policies against bullying, encourage confidential communication with management, annual briefing on sign of workplace bullying. Upper management reviews all complaints carefully and fairly. Employee assistance programs. Conflict and resolution training for all employees. And this is very important. Value all employees equally. Okay. And that's very important. Okay. Because regardless of whether you're male or female or if your gender is undefined, whether you be white collar or blue color, whether you are from multiple ethnic backgrounds or you have different sexual orientation, we need to value all employees equally. We don't have to like all employees equally, but we do have to value them equally. And that's something. Now, just going to give you a couple observations. The bad news is that workplace bullying is too common and extremely harmful. The good news that the resources are available to help organization to affect change. Okay. Now, these are some of the behaviors which are desired um, when dealing with coworkers and employees. Be respectful and model civility. Take responsibility and be accountable. Celebrate and reward civil encounters and initiatives. Now, here's are some examples of desired behavior of employee responsibility. Participate and encourage ongoing civility training. Practice prevention strategies and recognize and report all acts of civility. Now, when it comes to policies, there's some examples that need to be followed. Clearly written, comprehensive, easily accessible workplace bullying policies. Specific step-by-step procedures for addressing bullying. Wording that includes the reporting responsibility for all who have witnessed bullying behaviors. So this is what I'm going to read. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop it here. So what is my take in all this? Okay. Workplace bullying, it is a serious issue. Yes, it is. Okay. However, there are solutions. Okay. And it is depending on upper management to develop uh, clear procedures, clear policies to provide a civil environment to work. Now, I say civil. What does that mean? Okay, it does not mean that you're gonna like everybody that you work with. Okay, it does not mean that you're gonna have a kumbaya moment all the time. What does it mean is that there's going to be some sort of policies in place, so therefore people can be able to work without harassment, bullying, or what have you. As I have shown, there are different types of behavior that can lead to bullying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share one more item. Actually, the source came from Career Guide, and it was written December 20th of last year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share what the article says, and then um, if anyone wishes to enter any comments, they're more than welcome. If anybody else wishes to join the panel, they can do so. If no one does wishes to do the other, either, I will start to wrap it up. Okay. I have been talking for over an hour. Now let me just. Parag Patel, a franchise owner of Dunkin' Donuts, shares how he handles conflict in the workplace and how you can deal with it too. Feeling comfortable and happy at work can be challenging if you have to deal with a workplace bullying. Negative behavior or harassment can prompt you to search for a more respectful work environment, even if you really like your job. In this article, we define what the workplace bully is and common types, plus examples of workplace bullying and how to deal with it. Let's define what is a workplace bully. A workplace bully is someone who consistently bestows harm or mistreatment to other employees and bring them physical and emotional pain. The workplace bullying can come in all forms, including nonverbal, verbal humiliation, psychological, and physical abuse. A person at any level in the office can be a workplace bully, from co-workers to managers. Now, there's different types of workplace bullies. Bullies exist in many forms in the workplace. It's important to identify this behavior and take action to stop it. Here are some common types of workplace bullies to look out for. The blatantly this type of bullying usually comes from those in a supervisor role. They may yell or scream at employees or otherwise try to use fear to manage them. Many of these bullies believe that they receive little or no consequences for their actions, since they're typically in a higher ranking position. Blatantly insulting bullies attempt to establish dominance or control by making their employees feel smaller through harsh and belittling comments. The next type of bully is the passive aggressive bully. These bullies make comments that may seem like compliments, but they're actually hidden insults. These can these can be comments like "Good job at the presentation. You did surprisingly well." Some passive aggressive bullies may unintentionally harm others by using sarcastic statements without realizing that they're insulting people. The next type of bully is the scheming bully. A scheming bully attempts to be more subtle with their mistreatment of others. They often nice to the employee when they are face to face, but undermine them when they are away from them. They may engage in tactics like gossiping and spreading false rumors about the employees. If a bully is a manager, they may abuse his power by giving the employee undesirable shifts, excluding them from an important meeting or assigning them many difficult and time-consuming projects with little or no guidance on how to complete them. The next type of bully is the unintentional bully. Most of these bullies are unaware of how unfairly or harshly they're treating others. Many of them make unfiltered comments without thinking about their words before speaking. They typically don't make statements to harm or hurt others, which means they're usually unaware of the impact their words have on others. It's important for those who are experiencing unintentional bullying to speak up to the bully or the human resources to make the bully aware of the harm that they're causing. Knowing that words are hurtful people's feelings because these bullies to assess their behavior and apologize and discontinue these harmful actions. So now we're going to discuss how to stop workplace bullying. Some bullies target specific employees to offend, degrade, humiliate, or offend them. Others are intentional bullies who may cause harm to other employees without realizing it. When someone's bullying you or others, follow these tips to address them. Excuse me. Stop politely and professionally bring the behavior to fix and ask them to stop. Depending on the severity of the behavior, you may want to go straight to HR. Report the behavior. Note the days and the times the bullying occurred and report this information to your HR department. Keep copies of any aggressive or insulting comments made via email or written documents and submit them to HR and write them down in verbal and physical incident as soon as they occur. Stay away to decrease the potential of any additional negative behavior while HR investigates. Aim to limit interactions with the workplace bully as much as possible. You may want to ask your HR representative for additional tips. For example, if you both work on the same floor in the office, you may ask them to see to work from the home temporarily. So as you can see, there's a lot of information that's being detailed on how bullying can occur. So now I'm going to discuss examples of workplace bullying. Abusing or threatening to abuse the employee. This is the recognized form of bullying and generally the only type that has the potential to face legal repercussions. Some bullies cause or threaten to cause physical harm to an employee. Most who do this use this as a way to manipulate the other employee into giving them something that they want. Spreading rumors or gossiping. This type of bullying can occur both in person and virtual. A bully may spread rumors about someone in the workplace through text messages or social media, purposely excluding the employee. These bullies may blatantly ignore an employee to make them feel left out by starting workplace cliques, refusing to invite them to meetings, and excluding the employee from participating in work group committees. Using an aggressive or imitative attitude. Some bullies include supervisors and employees enjoy intimidating others by making them feel small or inadequate. They often do this by putting them down in front of others or insulting their appearance. Undermining an employee's work. Bullying behavior comes from employees who are intentionally trying to make an employee look bad in front of a supervisor. They may do this to receive promotion over others and seem more skilled than others. Undermining behavior includes taking unearned credit for projects, placing undeserved blame on others, or interfering with an employee's work productivity. Another example of bullying is giving employees impossible deadlines. Some supervisors may intentionally bully an employee by constantly assigning them work knowing that it's too challenging for them to complete. If an employee delivers his work, the bully may use this as an excuse to punish them for unsatisfactory results. Withholding information. Bullies who aim to sabotage other employees may do so by witnessing information like meeting times or important details about an assignment. They do this to make the other employees look like they're underperforming their role. Another example, making an employee feel useless. Supervisors may bully their employees by assigning them little work or giving them projects that are unimportant or otherwise seem like busy work. This can make an employee feel insignificant and lower their confidence. Telling offensive jokes. Telling jokes that are offensive or inappropriate in the workplace is a form of bullying. Some do this unintentionally, so it's important to address the negative effect of these jokes with the employee or HR. Invading someone's privacy. Some bullies may invade others' privacy by following them around or outside the workplace. They may also look through someone's personal items search for confidential company files or documents without permission. Screaming or using profane language. Some employees use violent tempers in the workplace to discipline or humiliate an employee. Others may use profane offensive language. Delivering constant criticism. There's a difference between providing an employee with a constructive criticism and constantly insulting their work. If an employee is criticizing the work of someone else without attempting to help them improve or providing any genuine feedback, this can be considered bullying and may decrease the employee's confidence at work. Another example of bullying is belittling an employee's opinion. This can occur when an employee expresses their thoughts, opinion, or ideas during a meeting or other workplace situation and is belittled or ridiculed for them. This negative behavior can cause the employee to no longer speak up during meetings. Purposely keeping an employee from opportunities. A supervisor who's bullying an employee may try to find ways to keep them from opportunities. For example, they may withhold information on training or promotion or make them feel inadequate in their role. Another example, bullying, gaslighting. Gaslighting often goes unnoticed in the workplace. Bullies use this form of psychological harassment in the workplace to manipulate or attempt to manipulate another employee's perception of reality. For example, your supervisor may direct you to something and then later tell you that they said something completely different. Bullies use gaslighting tactics to shift blame, and it can cause the victim to be penalized or fired for something at no fault of their own. And basically, what I did was show different examples of bullying, and of course, there are many um, ways to do the bullying, and which is I just highlighted here. Hopefully, and I say hopefully, none of you will be the victims of workplace bullying. But be mindful. What you need to do is to speak up. And who to speak with? Speak with your supervisor, speak with the HR, and keep a record of all the occurrences that you've been bullied, whether it be verbal, nonverbal, or what have you. Okay. Now, I have been talking for over 75 minutes. Okay. If anyone wishes to join the panel, they can do so. The link is in the chat. If anyone has any further comment, enter a comment or join the panel. I'll stop to wrap it up. The fact of the matter is, it is a serious topic, and that's why it's very important to have the discussions. Then, not only so that way you don't become a victim of workplace bullying, but also to help those who are. Okay. So it appears that no one is on the panel. So I will start to wrap it up. What is my take in all this? Unfortunately, bullying in the workplace does occur. Okay. And it can lead to devastating effects if nothing is done. That is the reason why you need to take action. First of all, who deserves to be bullied? No one. Because of whatever political, religious viewpoint you have, no matter what is your ethnicity, no matter what is your sexual orientation, no matter where is your country of origin, everyone deserves to be able to be in a workplace where you are able to perform your task in peace without the harassment, without being bullied. So, in any case, I just want to remind that we're doing another stream this Thursday at 9 o'clock. And the topic will be how to keep your life toxic free. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be sharing with all of you my observations or what you could do to keep your life toxic free. Now, it's not meant to be a totally exhausting list, and some of you may have different viewpoints. Let's all discuss them, okay? And we can agree or we can disagree, but let us be agreeable when we disagree, okay? But in any case, I do appreciate the presence of Dynamo and Keisha in the chat, and also appreciate the fact that Keisha was in the panel. So that being said, I just want to say my final words, which is, if you are the subject of bullying, be mindful. It is not your fault. But let's remember, there are things that you can do. And I would suggest that you look into what are your employees' policies as it pertaining to bullying, and then maintain a safe work environment. So that being said, I'll see you this Thursday. Anyone, if they wish, they can enter a comment after the stream is over, and just keep it positive. So that being said, I thank all of you very much, and even those who cloud watch. Okay, so thank you very much. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, and I wish all of you a pleasant good night. Take care and peace.
Strong.
Bye.